Hey, folks. I appreciate all of you that are on my team, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. But what we're working on today is quite important. In Connecticut, if your state has an attorney general as dirty as Attorney General Tong, what they're trying to do is to cancel all volunteer fire departments. Why? Because OSHA certifies the departments, and there's a presumption that volunteer firemen are not as qualified as other departments. But, like, for example, in Norwich, they have 70 volunteers and 34 full-time paid firefighters, and the volunteers are a 501c3 being forced to the will of the police chief, and they are listing your private social security numbers in public disclosure, which violates their contracts. And then they claim that there's no standing in the lawsuit that's filed by the local 501c3. The volunteers, that is. So the judges are playing a game here because they want the fusion networks to surveil all Connecticut residents. They sold your biometric data. They sold your social security information, your banking information. And a lot of those sales have been hacked. And now there's rampant fraud, credit card fraud, check fraud. There's housing fraud. There's huge medical fraud. Huge. And the problem here is not only a privacy issue, but it's using 5G to monitor every citizen's life, listen to their conversations through your smart meter. They go into your house, they hear all your intimate conversations, and then they can target you and even create an attack on your DNA, which they've sold. And the Connie Exchange thing and all that is, you might not think is important, but they can create a scenario where they give you a heart attack electronically. They can see through your eyes, hear through your ears, and they have chipped you as well. So not only is there biometric chipping, there's the vaccine with graphene oxide, self-nanotech, and it's a long-term goal to control you. Now, the fact that they're saying the volunteer firemen have no standing, well, that's just fraud. That's the judge is in on it. So I wanted to just mention two things because someone called who's very concerned about Sam Magliari and doesn't quite understand what's happening. So when you look at the judicial review requests, like here's one from February 14th. I just pulled one out of the clear blue sky. Bivens Act constitutional violations, okay? We added Justice Bellis of Sandy Hook, which obviously was a FEMA mass shooting drill gone wrong. I'm not saying it's a hoax. I'm saying it was murder caused by the state. I'm saying something totally different. So, the fact that Judge Blauey's involved and he used the media commission is important. News Channel 12, of course. Ken Dixon, more importantly, the biggest media crime Hearst communist that there is, next to Dan Haar. You can see how the case is wrapping up, and we've done our 21st. Let me see if I can go to Word and show you what I'm talking about. Word file 22. Here's the latest prejudgment remedy against Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew falsified a C-peptide test, destroyed all the records, and took an A1C of 11.9 and destroyed the results. Dr. Drew placed Flynn on a high-sugar diet and intentionally introduced extremely high sugar numbers, then administered Zyprexa to kill Flynn. I'm claiming Whiting tried to kill me because that's what they do. Dr. Drew had all the records created, stolen, and shared all medical conversations with D.A. Hallstrom, convicted felon Dennis Bradley, Elizabeth Greenwood, and this is about prejudgment remedies. And we certainly qualify under these grounds. So just to give you a little bit of insight, and then to answer the guy's question, when we went down the road with the falsified Judge White warrant, Whiting claimed they had a second warrant from a different judge, which was impossible because it never existed according to the state police. But they created a warrant from a judge who had passed away a year earlier, which is a problem since he was Democratic Senate Majority Leader. So here we go. They went back and created a warrant with the dead judge. That's not cool. And then the most important part is this part I'm about to tell you. Sam Magliari and I had discussions in these two chairs about his niece that was OD'd on Oxy during the Judge White Ahuja case, where Ahuja started claiming that he bought a judge, or judges, plural, and then Sam's niece ODs quite mysteriously. So did Judge White and Ahuja have anything to do with the OD of Sam Magliari's niece? The answer is yes. Sam sat right here and we discussed it. He didn't go public with it, but he did sue Judge White. So here we go. Judge White is still sitting on the bench, and Gioeli refuses to arrest him. Now it implicates Judge Lee. So everyone who inherits the case, using Judge Lee to hear the Ozales recusal, seeing that he shares the docket with Judge White, is a problem, considering that Judge Adams was a partner at Kelly, Dry, and Warren who stole all the money. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is so contrived. I hope that explains the situation for today. Today we're busy. There's a lot going on, folks, and the courts are basically shut. The Stamford Superior Court is completely dysfunctional. They're stealing all the motions. They're stealing all the exhibits that we put in the case. Luckily, I have it backed up all over the place. So now we're dealing with the Geek Squad, who's an FBI informant. And yesterday was a big deal. I can't talk about it, but we will soon see whether Ozalis and Bellis are removed from this case due to election rigging. Rigging of the delegates and destroying of the petition candidate signatures. Now, if I wanted to get on the balance against Himes, I'd have to go petition, collect signatures, which the state of Connecticut has destroyed on 3 occasions. The Murphy race, the Blumenthal race, and the 2020 election. Yes, we haven't talked about the 2020 election. It's big. It's probably bigger than the other 2. Thanks for listening. We'll get there somehow. And I gotta leave.